For the Record podcast, we back in this thing. In case y'all didn't figure it out last week, it was like a parlay week for us.
Yeah.
Nah, we was here, bro.
Yeah, I mean, the video was there.
Yeah. And we was lit.
So we start off, you already know, Mizzy the Rockstar DJ.
ROCKSTARR DJ Hugh Hop.
ROCKSTAR DJ K Player.
The ROCKSTARR DJ D Money.
Man, we in this thing. What was y'all weeks looking like?
Week was crazy. Didn't sleep the whole weekend. It got wild. So between radio and all the clubs, the brother didn't even go to sleep till this morning.
Well,
Sounds fantastic, man.
you're right.
Yeah.
Right. Sound like you was getting to the bag.
I mean, definitely. And then got to send a big shout out to the homegirl, Kiana Lewis, Epic Records. She was in town for the weekend. We
Nice.
toured through the city. So it was a good look.
Okay.
Said my most lit weekends be when I'm hanging out with D Money. Hey, what you do this weekend? I hung out with D Money.
Yeah, shit, hung out with D Money,
Whole
fam.
weekend.
Even took her to world famous Fat Tuesdays and put her up on that game.
Did y'all get the call?
Nah,
Nope.
Not at all.
I didn't get the call.
Here we go with this shit.
I mean, I wasn't gonna go, but
Oh,
still.
I guess I'm not.
It
famous
would have been
enough.
nice to have been invited. You know
Y'all
what I'm
niggas
saying?
always do this shit, bro.
It would have been nice to have been like, nah, I ain't gonna make it.
Like y'all was gonna come anyway.
It don't matter. Still put the
Like-
back call out.
Right, you know what I'm
Don't have
saying?
everybody in their feelings.
Just in case anyone can make it.
Trying to hog the artist
Ain't
love.
nobody trying to hog no artist love. Like every time somebody come into town and I start moving around, the niggas be like, "Yo, you could have hollered at shit," but y'all niggas see me moving.
No, we don't.
I didn't see you moving at all.
We don't. Sorry. We
Oh,
don't-
you think
don't-
we be stalking your
Yeah.
social media, huh?
You don't gotta stalk nobody's social media.
I don't see D Money social media until 3:00 in the morning when I'm bored as hell.
What you
And
can
that's
do,
when I see everyone else.
right?
As
What you
well.
can do is hit us in a group chat. We do have a group chat, sir.
My shit popped up
I check
3
that
days
on a
later.
regular.
3 days ago, you missed this. You know, you see money over there lit.
Right,
Like, yeah, I would text you, but the Instagram says 3 days ago.
right. Yeah, good call on
man.
that, fam.
That's some.
It's all good.
That's
My-
like some bullshit.
my
Shout
shit
out to
was
Fat
kinda,
Tuesday.
Slow motion, man. I didn't really do too much, man, outside of just going to radio, man. I've been sick this weekend, still trying to get over it right now. So, I'm trying to fall back as much as I can. So, it's just one of those weeks, man.
What you got? Allergies? Well, like
I
what's
don't know
up?
what it is. It's random. I got kids. That's what I got.
Yeah, buddy.
You drop them off somewhere, you come back, pick them up. You sick, and everybody in the house is sick. So
Yeah.
it's one of those
Yeah.
things.
That's real talk.
Yeah, so I'm
Brought
just
a
trying
present
to
to
get
the
over it.
house.
I'm not mad at it.
I mean, same with me, but kind of low key, day job, activities, DJing. I don't know. I told y'all I don't know, DJing for somebody who played for the NBA, but it's like they know I don't really
Playing
watch
on my
sports.
It was like Steph Curry.
Yeah, I
Some
don't.
guy with
Like
a basketball.
Yeah,
some
right,
dude wear like
right.
a 30 jersey.
I don't watch sports at all, so
There was
I'm
a lot
not
of
in the
people
know.
around him.
But I will say, dude, show hella love. I didn't know who he was. I don't know if he knew that. I didn't know who he was. I imagine he probably did.
Did you in autographs? You was
But
pissed off.
right? No, he showed me hella love. Him and his crew. They
You still don't know his name?
they gave me
That's a no.
I know his name is Kmart and he played for the Timberwolves. Not Kevin Martin. That's
Kevin
what.
Martin.
No, you talking about
Kenya
Kenya.
Oh
Martin.
yeah, Kenya Martin. See, exactly. Here we go with this again.
And it might actually be Kevin Martin.
Okay, maybe it's Kevin Martin. Kevin Martin.
He played for the Timberwolves.
He played
now,
for the
or-
Timberwolves. No, I don't think he plays now.
Let me hit
But anyway,
up,
I don't
Research.
like somebody had to tell me, and
let me hit up one of these shorties right quick.
the name didn't ring a bell. But anyway, he showed hella love. I mean, he partied with me for like 3-4 hours. Him and his crew, they was tipping me every time I played a song.
Oh yes.
So it was a good
We
time.
love
I mean,
tips.
yes, we do.
Yeah, so it was Kevin Martin.
Kevin. Yeah, that's him. All right, so
Like
Kevin
you
Martin.
said.
Yeah. So
And I love basketball, and I have no idea who this is, but no disrespect to you, bruh.
yeah, apparently
Right now, too, like,
I knew he was
The
somebody
Timberwolves still a team?
because people kept coming up to him.
Don't do that. They doing good, bruh.
nah, they
Timberwolves definitely finna make the playoffs.
People kept coming up to him, asking him for autographs and pictures and stuff. So I was like, damn, he got to be somebody. And obviously he tall, so you just assume like, oh shit, he must be a ball player. And of course, it's March Madness, or it was March Madness.
Wait, was it white people? Because white people be
Yeah.
randomly thinking.
Well,
black
yeah, it was
people.
white people. Yeah.
He couldn't be that famous.
No, but I mean, they knew who he was. He can't be that famous.
I'm just saying. I'm looking at my man's stats right now. It's like, I don't know if anybody know my dude right here.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, people. Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, it could be because it was March Madness too, so they just assume everybody that's tall play basketball because it's March Madness.
White people do.
But anyway, I don't.
I think
all-
he retired from that.
Yeah, he did. He did. All I know is he showed me love, and him and his crew was partying their ass off, and they made my time DJing a lot more fun than it probably would have been. So shout out to him and his crew. But other than that, I mean, you know, normal day job activities.
I heard you was in there putting it down for the West too.
Oh yeah, yes, absolutely. I went hard for the West Coast. They had like whenever you're DJ, sometimes. Well, DJing in the situation that I DJ, you kind of get visual cues to try to figure out where people from to kind of play music that, you know, they are familiar with. I know one of his dudes had on a Cal State shirt. So, of course, I went in on the West. Another one from his crew had on a Texas shirt. So I played hella Texas music. It's probably the most Texas set I ever did.
These shirts are probably jerseys, by the way.
No, I ain't that far removed. They were T-shirts, bro. He had on a sleeveless shirt with a number on it. No, but you know, I was just taking visual, and I think this is the reason they tipped me. It was before they even tipped me.
Yeah.
But they were just drinking. They was buying drinks for people. So I'm like, shit, they in here having a good time. So let me just start playing whatever I think they gonna like. So I mean, they ended up being.
What type of event was it? Like some formal event or
nothing? It was.
We need a DJ for this backyard.
Nah, man, this was that dry bar. This.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which makes it even more weird because they were there for at least 3 hours.
Yeah, okay.
At that spot,
they
like
turned it into their own private shit.
No, yeah, they did. I mean, it was cool. It was kind of popping before they got there, but you know, I think they were drawn in by the music I was playing anyway because wasn't nobody else playing like you know, random hood whatever in the middle of the day.
Exactly.
But you know, just taking visual cues. I played hella Texas music, which was dope because I don't really ever play Texas music like that. And then of course I went in on the West, and that made them love me anymore. They start shelling out hella money. He gave me a nice tip, so shit, it was love. I appreciated it. So it was a good week. You know what I'm saying? Mizzy.
Oh, it's on me.
It's on you, son.
I'm over here watching Kevin Martin top plays.
Watching his high school highlight reel. His top play was like a crossover.
Yeah, let me check it out. I mean, I don't know nothing about basketball, but he was definitely good people. He definitely bought hella drinks.
Hey, yo, it's all good, man. You gotta explain, man. We don't knock you for not knowing.
Play number 5.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying.
If we
right.
Because if any of us was in the same situation, we would not have not known either. I was DJing for some basketball player.
yeah. All right, well,
yeah, this is the Kevin Martin podcast.
My week was good. You know, radio as always. Shout out to everybody tuning in to Hot 97.5. I ain't really do too much, but I did have a bunch of meetings, so we got some stuff on the way for the spring, summertime, you know what I'm saying? So putting those deals together, locking them in. Started with promotion and stuff like that already, so we looking good. We looking
up, I just seen you on the flyer for a pool party coming up soon.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. You know?
Right. Like a day party.
Yeah, we gonna do an official day party. You know, like everywhere else that has culture. No pool involved. Black people don't get in the damn water as it is.
Right.
So
you have a day party, no pool, and it's popping.
Yeah. So that's what we putting together. April 21st, Daytox. You know what I'm saying? It's coming.
Hell yeah.
Putting another play together. I got that meeting coming up on Wednesday. So yeah, I mean, it's play season, baby.
Yo, put me on, Mizzy, man.
Right. Right. I carried the laptop in.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Money has all the gigs. I'm trying to make the
gigs. I mean, it's coming along. You know what I'm saying? Friday, ladies' night, classic jewels, looking nice, and then Saturday, club nostalgia, and actually, they got some things coming up. They're gonna do an event with Marsha Ambrosia.
Nice.
Coming up in May, so it's
you
pretty.
Still got this spot downtown too.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So
that's
and then
nostalgia.
Yes, club nostalgia. They're gonna be at Ninja Karaoke this Saturday. Yeah. So bouncing back and forth between spots. It's a good group. You know, it's just something alternative. You know, getting like some real Vegas culture versus, you know what I'm saying, just going to the strip. You know,
right.
Kind of break up the monotony a little bit.
Hell yeah.
That sounds dope. Well, let's jump into it.
Let's do it.
For the Record podcast. So let's get into the podcast.
Let's do it.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So I mean, this was like I said, took a parlay last week, so it was a great couple weeks for music. Let's jump back into last week. Rich Homie dropped a project. What was it called? Anybody got that?
Rich as in
Spirit.
Spirit. There we go.
Rich as in Spirit.
Rich Homie Quan dropped a project last week. The Weeknd dropped a project this week. Who else dropped the project this week? Before anything, the soundtrack to Birdman's joint, his visual that he put out, was a documentary?
Yeah, it's a documentary with Apple. He did the documentary with Apple.
There you go. So it's like it's basically a compilation album soundtrack.
And the documentary was pretty dope. Like
you seen it?
Oh yeah.
I haven't peeped it yet.
How far back does it go? Like what?
I mean, it goes into, and I'm not sure if it's like a multi-part or if that's just the only one. But I mean, they basically really delved into the whole beginning of Birdman, and you kind of tell a story from people who knew him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they just kind of get accounts from him, even from a baby. You know what I'm saying? To basically.
Okay, so they go like pre Birdman, the artist that we know,
and it really devils into like his family, you know what I'm saying, and his whole growing up in New Orleans and kind of how all the stuff that happened with that affected him and motivated him in his drive, and just like how he was really getting it at a young age, like out there just showing off, like stunting on cats are real. I can imagine. So it's a good watch.
Yeah, I gotta check that joint out. Mm-hmm. Is it only on Apple? Do you know?
I definitely.
Well, I mean, I imagine if it's an Apple.
I definitely watch it on YouTube, son. So.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for throwing that out there. I will be watching that later.
Right. YouTube, what up, though? YouTube for the win.
Also, Rich the Kid dropped a project as well.
This is true.
What was it? The World Is Yours?
Yeah.
The World Is Yours. Apparently, it's his. So, how y'all feel about the Weeknd joint?
The Weeknd. Let me tell you something. The Weeknd is fire. Okay, like
really,
I'm telling you, and even especially for me, because coming up, like K Player was the one that was Weeknd heavy. I was like, yo, this dude just sounded depressed and on drugs, and he hates his life, and he has crazy situations with women. But just his growth in music. This little project that he put out, like it really hits home. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna call it a masterpiece, but it's a really good project.
Okay, I agree. It could be a good project, for the Weeknd, compared to some of his other joints. But to me, I felt the same way. I felt like he didn't really make a record for the fellas or even for himself at that. I think he did it strictly for the ladies.
But I mean,
if you ask me,
if you figure the Weeknd music, that's pretty much who he tailored his music to.
Well, yeah, okay, which is great. But what I'm saying is the content. I only listened to the first 3 tracks, by the way. Let me just throw that disclaimer out there. So I only listened to the first 3 tracks, but from what I heard, like it sounded like an apology record. Like, oh, I'm sorry for being a man type record. So, but it wasn't just the first one. It was the second one after that, and the third one that I listened to. It was all just kind of like, all right, well, I did what I did. I'm sorry, can't take it back. Next song. Oh, I did what I did. I'm sorry, I can't take it back. Next song. And to me, it's like, it's one of those records, one of those albums that women listen to so they can be like, why can't my man be more like The Weeknd?
I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say more so they can condition themselves to dealing with a dude that's just going to keep putting them in situations over and over again. You know what I'm saying?
Condition them in what? In what way? To make them numb to it?
Yeah. Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Like, see, he did it too. Yeah, so, I mean, I guess
like
I can
even The Weeknd is out there messing up.
You're like, yo, The Weeknd is fucking up too, so you can't be mad at me.
Oh, you want me to be like him?
If you was with him.
Yeah, so like, I mean, if anything, he kind of helping the brothers out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
I guess in a sense, but yeah. So I mean, that still brings me to my point that he just kind of makes.
All right, 1 out of 5. 1 through 5.
I give it on a personal scale, I give it a 3.
All right.
On a Weeknd scale, I give it a 4.
Okay.
Compared to his other projects,
I give it a 4.
Wait. A 4, like compared to his other projects? Okay, full disclosure, I haven't heard it yet. I got to be in the right setting to get my Weeknd on. You know what I'm saying? I got to turn the lights off, turn the candles on.
You got to turn the candles on, get in a hot tub with some bubbles, and get some Kleenex.
I got to be cooking some stew. You know what I mean? I got to stew in the slow cooker.
You got to be fresh out of a breakup, all this kind of shit.
You got to have like a table full of drugs or something. Like.
I can't get jiggy with these shit.
But I do rock with.
I'm sorry, but I see how people can appreciate the album. So I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad album. It's just not for me. It's not something that I'm in a situation to where I would listen to it and I could feel it and it's gonna speak to my soul. Okay. Which, if it's supposed to be like soulful music, it should speak to your soul. And I just can't really connect with it on that level.
For the purpose of throwing it on while you vibing with a chick, I think he did a good job.
All right.
Well, look,
is it like the normal dark? Is it like dark?
No, it's not. I'm gonna get into it. Number one, shout out to Weeknd for letting his nuts hang because he dropped it without no warning, no pre-track, no whatever. All these tracks is brand new. He just dropped. I mean, let's put it in perspective. It's only 6 songs.
Yeah.
It's not even an album. It's like a project. But he
EP.
did it. Yeah, there you go. He did it without no warning. He just put it. I mean, well, he kind of teased it on Twitter, like, should we drop whatever, and that was basically like the only promo going into it. And I mean, we'll see in about a week or by next Sunday what the numbers talking about. Mm-hmm. But Weeknd always sells very well, so that's number one. He pulled a Beyonce on everybody, and I'm pretty sure it'll do numbers. I mean, the Weeknd has shown us nothing less. And then my second point with Weeknd letting his nuts hang is that he got a lot of flack for becoming mainstream and kind of going, before it was his songs went pop because they were so popular.
Yeah.
The actual music of pop versus his last album, Starboy, was a pop album. Like, he made pop songs.
Yeah, it was definitely pop.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so this, to me, is the Weeknd getting back to the Weeknd. What the Weeknd is known for, what his real fans, his core fans love him for. Yeah. And ain't no pop records on here. 6 classic Weeknd songs.
See, that makes me want to listen to it even more.
Yo, I'm telling you, it's dope.
So I don't I'm looking at it right now on my Spotify. For whatever reason, when I look for it, I couldn't find it, but I found it right now. So I'm gonna definitely be on it. I'm definitely a fan of the trilogy.
Yeah.
And out of the trilogy, just throwing it back because I haven't heard the new project, but out of the trilogy, Thursday is probably my favorite of the 3. But fucking the Thursday is so fire of a mixtape, which later became an album, that I'm probably always gonna ride with the Weeknd, and I would prefer the underground Weeknd to where people really didn't know much about him. You didn't know what he looked like. He still don't do interviews, but like that mysterious Weeknd, I kind of like that about him, and it adds to the fact that his music is typically dark. And it goes to a place that really nobody else is going to in R&B, and that's kind of the appeal that he seems to give off.
I think mainstream Weeknd does a solid job. You know what I'm saying?
If you actually listen, the sound, no. But if you actually listen to the lyrics, he's still talking about that dark shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just the presentation is different. Obviously, on his album, he had a lot of Daft Punk influence, you know what I'm saying, or participation, not really influence.
All right, well, shout out to the Weeknd. We got 3 other albums to talk about.
Well, yeah. This is true.
Man, you know how we do. Breaking stuff down.
Jesus. Real quick. So also Rich Homie Quan. K-Player, go listen to The Weeknd. Who listened to Rich Homie Quan?
Yeah, I need to get on.
Who listened to Rich Homie?
I listened to Rich Homie Quan. I thought that project was good. I would give it a 3 out of 5. It's a solid listen all the way through. I think, like you were saying, the Weeknd getting back to the Weeknd, I think Rich Homie Quan on this project is really trying to remind everybody, like, yo, I'm here, and, I do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely trying to heat back up.
Yeah.
Because, he did fall off, and it wasn't a fall off as in he started making bad music and people wasn't checking for him. He just stopped making music.
Yeah,
people
he lack of music.
What was it? Birdman didn't pay he didn't pay for the session, and they said they gonna leak all the songs. He just kind of stopped making music out.
Hell yeah.
So it's kind of he out here trying to heat back up.
Yeah,
putting out
putting
music.
his toe back in the water, and I think he did a solid job on this.
I don't know about that. The album was it was obviously Rich Homie Quan is melodic, so it was a lot of singing and melodies, whatever, but it was like only one song, which I'm going to cheat off of K-Player's computer right now because I don't feel like pulling up on mine. Which way we scroll? Hold on.
Yeah,
we ain't going to get into that.
We scroll the right way, sir.
Please don't start that.
Hey, shout out to the Mac users that know about scrolling in whatever airplane mode or whatever that shit is called that when it comes out the box.
But yeah, so Let's Go Up was like the only track that I heard that was like, when I heard it, I'm like, damn, this is a banger. What? All the other ones is cool. Like, it was like, all right, it's cool. Like, it's not bad, but it's whatever. So that's how I felt about the album. Like, I appreciate him trying to get back in the game and heat back up, but I mean, I don't know if he took the 19 songs and did a good job with that, in my opinion. Like, I wouldn't listen to it again. I would listen to that one song and I'm cool.
What? Yeah. See, I kind of agree with Mizzy. I'm gonna give it 2 stars, short for ROCKSTARRs. You know what I'm saying? We need our rating system. All right. I'm gonna give it 2 only because that ain't the Rich Homie I want to hear. Like, I understand he went through whatever he went through, and I feel like this album was a personal album more than anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like he was taking this album to express whatever he needed to express as far as his position in hip hop, the reason he ain't where he need to be, and him doing whatever he need to be to get back on. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to hear that shit from Rich Homie Quan. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear his version of turn up shit. You know what I'm saying? Because his version of turn up shit is still, I feel like it's a void for that. Like the Rich Homie turn up is kind of like, it's still some chill vibe. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you can turn up to it, but it's still some cool shit. Mm-hmm. Like you ain't really got to go all out. And that's the Rich Homie I want to hear. Like I don't want to hear the Rich Homie who reflecting on life and stuff like that. Like I don't want to hear. I mean, personally speaking, I don't want to hear that from Rich Homie. I got other artists that I want to hear that from.
You got people that you actually cater to for whatever it is that you're looking for. So.
Yeah, like if you reflecting on life, I need for you to be able to tell me a dope story. Yeah. So I can paint a picture from what you're saying, and I don't feel like he can necessarily do that.
His stories was alright.
I mean, that's the problem. They alright. I feel like he's doper at, like I feel like he had his own lane in doing what he did before, and that's what I liked about Rich Homie Quan, and it really wasn't that presence on this album.
My track is the third track off the album, 34. Y'all referenced that track, all right. That track goes hard.
That was cool.
Yeah. 34 is a good look, okay. And
it's not as good as Let's Go Up, but it's cool.
I mean, 34 definitely was a repeater for your boy. Like we
but is the album a repeater for your boy?
What was good about 34 though? Like, what was that a good?
Like I just really felt like just the production and just how you put that whole thing together and the story behind it. It just sound dope and it roll hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you riding and you feeling yourself and you in a good mood, you rolling a 34. You know what I'm saying?
I'm setting my bookmarks over here. I ain't listened to the album yet, but I'm trying to know what to look for.
So as far as 34, I would run through it. You know what I'm saying? I would definitely run it back. Like it's not a one and done.
What throws me off is like it's a 19-track album, which is kind of unheard of nowadays. People don't make albums.
You're right. It's hella long compared to
I mean, that Bupac was like 20 something.
Chris Brown put out like 45.
Yeah, he
songs,
put out.
So.
Yeah,
Chris.
Shout out to my man Snoop Dogg on his gospel album, man. That's why I ain't had time to listen to this, man. I was trying to get into my Easter mode this past weekend.
Wait, did you hear that joint?
I've been listening. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I made it through the whole thing. It's a good gospel album. See, I don't really listen to that much gospel music as it is, but if I'm gonna listen to some gospel, it's gonna be some Snoop. Let's hear what Snoop got to say about it. Hey, I dig it. I can't.
You know what's funny? I haven't.
It set the mood for the whole weekend so far. Like
people been giving it rave reviews, and I shouldn't say this, but I shouldn't say this, but I really don't feel like I need to be getting my Jesus from Snoop Dogg.
It's not necessarily from Snoop Dogg. It's like putting together a Khaled album or something. Like, so he kind of like a producer, put all the heads together and made the tracks work. But he's only on a few of the tracks though. There's a lot of other artists that's on it. So it's a compilation album more than anything.
Okay.
You know? But I mean, if you listen to it, it's a good album. So
I will say, like every single person that I know that has heard it has said the same thing. Like, yo, this is amazing. It ain't like it's the opposite of what you think someone would say about a Snoop gospel. I'm like, what is he doing?
Coming from that,
works.
But I could bite into that coming from that perspective. My first take on a Snoop Dogg gospel album was Snoop Dogg doing gospel, and like I said, I shouldn't say this, but I'm just like, if I be getting my Jesus from anywhere, I don't think I need to be getting it from Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're getting your Jesus.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I don't really listen to gospel either. Like, my gospel goes like Mary, Mary. You know what I'm saying? Take the shackles off my feet. That's my jam. You know what I'm saying? Right. And even more corny, Revolution was my thing.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? Like Kirk Franklin was
I got a couple select tracks.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I got a couple select few, but like the traditional gospel joints was not my thing.
Those are my strip club records when Cass is up in there just hanging out and they ain't spending no money.
Hey, you play Revolution?
Yeah, Revolution.
Yeah. Get them up out of this
and
thing.
Stomp too.
You gotta play Jesus Walks.
Y'all don't want to tip.
Y'all don't went all the way left.
I mean, that was just a quick segue. That's a quick segue for anybody who hasn't heard it yet. It's called Bible of Love.
Hey, it's Easter weekend.
And the reason I went there is because the joint is 32 tracks long. You know.
Smart. Smart.
32 tracks long, so it's like a double album.
What did I say? Damn, I forgot. And one mic. Damn, I can't even make.
All right, well, moving on.
Yeah.
We got one more album to talk about.
Right. Just turn my mic off, please.
Birdman put out a Cash Money documentary, and then put out a soundtrack before anything.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I listened to it. It was dope to me. It's another compilation album or compilation soundtrack. Obviously, how soundtracks are. It was, to me, it was dope as hell. I mean, towards the second half of it, it had a lot of Jacquees, which I'm not mad at Jacquees. Jacquees is, I feel like, is an underrated artist.
Wink, wink.
We'll get back to that.
You know, I was just laughing because that's what's going in the back of my brain. Let me get that name out while I'm talking. It's running in the mouth. Well, yeah, he's kind of like heavy on the second half of the album. We also got a classic Big Timers track out of this soundtrack. You know, Manny Fresh and Birdman linked back up. I mean, I think it was the perfect blend of old school and new school as far as Manny Fresh throwing his Manny Fresh beats on there and then kind of reeling it back into what the new age producers do these days. And I mean, of course, if one thing Manny Fresh could do, he could definitely ride a beat. So they got that old Big Timers flow on there for sure. You know, Birdman never lets that flow go. So Birdman did Birdman.
Shout out to the Big Timers.
Yeah, overall, I mean, he got a lot of Atlanta up and comers on there, and they all did their thing. And then I mean, some obviously notable people like Migos, Gucci Mane, like I said, Jacquees, Manny Fresh, Young Greatness had a track on there, and I haven't heard from Young Greatness in a minute. It was amazing. I liked it overall. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, you had a hell of a way of getting to it.
Look, y'all niggas been talking forever. Let me get off a little something. Jeez. Y'all got into Snoop Dogg. He wasn't even on the goddamn
on the itinerary.
You know what, man? I can't believe I'm gonna say this. I didn't. It was all right to me. The Big Timers track. And that's probably because I'm such a huge Big Timers fan.
Yes, you are.
That the latest release that they put out, name of the track is Designer Casket.
Yeah.
It kind of missed the mark for me, and that's probably because I just need to tone my mark down a little bit. I think it was when the first listen, it was like, hey man, this ain't necessarily the Big Timers I know and love. And I get it, times change, you know, but it just didn't really hit it like how I wished it would have.
No, I feel you on that. I don't think it was probably an as radio friendly sound as they used to doing. But I mean, we don't know. Like the dynamic of their relationship is probably much different.
Probably so.
You know what I'm saying? Like I imagine.
Gotta be.
Yeah, I don't know that they was in the studio together doing that joint.
That might not have been the case. You know what I'm saying? Because it just the old Big Timers, man. Like they that shit talking.
Yeah, right,
and
right.
The tracks, it was just so crazy.
That down south shit talking was the best.
Yeah,
that's what made them dope.
So,
I mean, but notable mention. I mean, Birdman is having issues or not having issues. I don't know if he want to touch on that in a song, and if not, that nigga's an old rich man, and Manny Fresh has done it very well for himself through the years as well. So I mean, true. I don't know how much shit they have to talk at this point. I don't think Birdman wants to talk any shit because if he say anything,
it's definitely coming up in court.
It's gonna be headlines like, bruh.
Say, Brian.
Please evidence B.
No, but that is one of the reasons. I'll admit that I was late on jumping on the Manny Fresh bandwagon. I was late. When I first heard Juvenile High, I thought it was a parody. What? No lie. I thought it was a parody. I still remember the very first time I heard it, and I thought it was you know how like the radio personalities sometimes will rap over a beat, and it's like I thought that's what it was. So it's like, what the fuck? And then I kept hearing it. I'm like, damn, this is a real song.
I mean, I figured, people was finally getting it because I was so into it. Like, I was like, yo, this shit is dope.
Nah, I wasn't into it.
Especially the beat. Like, the beat is timeless. The beat is a classic. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy, and I'm bringing it back to the West. And, like you said, niggas is giving me the stank face. But I'm like, yo, this is that shit.
Because it was a completely different sound than we were used to. Yeah.
It's like, yo, this is that shit I'm telling y'all niggas. Yeah. These hot boys, Juvenile, that's going to be that shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, I will say, as much as I didn't like High, I know The Block is Hot is still one of my favorite CDs. It's actually over there because I still have it in regular rotation. The Block is Hot is still one of my favorite CDs. One of my favorite from Wayne for sure, even through the Carter series. Then I went back and listened to the Big Timers, and I'm like, oh, all right. All right. I see what they talk about. I like it.
500 Degrees, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That album was amazing.
It was so disrespectful.
It was amazing.
It was so disrespectful. Shout out to Wayne. No, but I mean, I was late on Manny Fresh, but I grew to appreciate Manny Fresh style, and in retrospect, he's probably one of my favorite producers of all time. You know what I'm saying? So it was dope to see him have some type of input on some production that you could tell. Like, as soon as I heard the drums, I was like, yep, that's Manny right there on the drums. Because you could tell his drums and his claps, just the way he programmed them joints. So I did rock with that song in particular, and it was probably just because of how much I didn't know I wanted a new Big Timer song until I saw that it was a new Big Timer song.
Yeah, I did. I definitely rushed to the email to download it as soon as it came.
Yeah. Yeah, like it could have been whatever, and I was like, that's fire, just
Big
because
Timers, be right back.
Yeah, because it's Big Time. But I mean, I don't know. Other than that, I don't know that. Like, that was probably the standout song to me. Like, I feel like all the rest of the songs were dope, but they weren't necessarily standout singles to me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all in all, I feel like it was a cool album.
Okay.
A cool compilation, at least. But I definitely rock with the Big Timers because I need more of that in my life.
Yeah, I'm going 3 out of 5.
Everything to you is 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I don't know.
Q Holla, did you listen to it or not?
Hell no, man.
Hell,
my Bible of Love album.
Q Holla over here sick as hell, so all he wanted to do was some Jesus in his life. He was praying to feel better.
Some Snoop
Jesus and
Jesus
sleep.
at that.
All right, well, moving on, since he didn't listen. I know he watched the Roxanne Roxanne joint. You seen the movie on Netflix? Since you was laid up in bed, I know you was Netflix and chilling.
Hell yeah, right.
The remote in my hand, you know what we gonna watch next. You know? But yeah, I like the Roxanne movie. I mean, it kind of puts I guess people who weren't familiar who Roxanne was.
Yeah.
Well, who Shante was.
Right.
If you didn't know who she was, I mean, this movie definitely like gives you like the background story behind it. And I mean, and it turns out she is exactly who I thought she was. You know, meaning that she was on and had like a lot of opportunities in her life, but it was like so many obstacles in the way that kind of got in her way that blocked her path to success. So even though she had all the talent in the world, it kind of the documentary, I don't know if it's a documentary or biopic or whatever you want to call it.
Biopic. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was in movie form. So, I mean, I feel it kind of just lets you, it confirms her background, like what you thought it was. So, like, my understanding of who she was is that she was an artist, you know, one of the earliest female rappers that were out there. Mm-hmm. And, you know, she had all the opportunities to actually like blow up and do something with it. But it's just kind of one of those things. I don't know whether you would call it like those hood problems, or you would call it just bad luck. Is one or the other.
From the movie, I would just call it ass whooping trauma. Like,
I mean, but it wasn't just that though. I mean, it was a series of bad decisions that she made in her life though, and not only from her upbringing, but also like from her lack of managing her finances too. Yeah. You know, putting trust in people that, you know, like the average person should know, yeah, you probably shouldn't trust this dude, you know, or you probably shouldn't let one person handle all your money, you know. I mean, so it was a lot of references like that. And honorable mention to my man Nas, you know, he was in the movie too, at least person playing him in the movie was in there too. So as soon as he's like out there like trying to rap for us, I'm like, yeah, my name is Nasir. It's like, oh, my man Nas, like, you know, there's a little bit of foreshadowing.
Wait, did he say that the first time they met?
Yeah, first time they met, he was like, my name is Nasir.
Oh, okay, I missed it. Okay,
and I was
so
like,
that
oh,
makes
my man
sense.
Nasty Nas.
Okay,
you know, and then
You
when
missed that? I caught that off top.
No, I mean, you know, I was like casually watching it, but I missed when.
I mean, when
he
you
said
think
his name was Nas.
Queensbridge, first thing you think is Nas. Like, he's like the
That's
mascot for Queensbridge, you know. And so I mean, it's no surprise that he was in that record, but it kind of shows that relationship there too. Because if you go back and think about it, on a timeline basis, it's like, yeah, okay, so Roxanne was popping like mid to later on in the 80s,
right?
You know, and then Nas, yeah, he would have been a kid back then because he popped off in the 90s and he was young when he popped off.
Right,
so,
right.
You know, I mean, you can kind of see like that that the birth of Nas, like in that context. So I'm actually hoping that this actually segues into like a Nas biopic.
That would
also.
be dope.
Like if there was a Nas biopic, I mean, you could just imagine like how many people going to it. I mean, they did that.
Oh yeah,
that'll shut Netflix down.
I don't want to stream that. I want that to be in the theaters. You know, I want that to be in the box office because I would gladly pay a ticket to see the Nas story.
Same.
You know, but I mean, overall, the Roxanne joint was dope. I mean, it's dope in a sense that they did a good job in telling her story, but as far as her story itself, I think it's kind of sad, honestly.
I would agree
because I mean, I'm not sure how accurate the movie portrayed her, but if they did portray her in the way that her life actually went, you know, she had a lot of talent and she could have went like really far, but she didn't have the right people in her corner. And that comes to show you like you got to still surround yourself with the right people,
right?
Unless your talent could be just left out there on the table along with like a lot of people out there.
And that's probably the two things I think that stand out the most to me about the Roxanne movie is like they just blatantly like disrespected her and robbed her out of crazy money.
And she was a kid.
Yeah, like she wasn't even 16. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then like just the abuse, like that shit was fucking horrible. Like, he was beating the shit out of her, like beat her.
She got with a drug dealer like from the hood that everybody knew, and I mean he already showed like those traits
like
before she even got with him.
That was a grown ass man.
He was a grown,
super grown.
Yeah,
that was like just rocking with her off of her fame. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really why he was.
Her mama seen it. Her mama's like, you dating this old man.
Well, yeah, but you know, just a young impressionable girl like.
She don't know better, son. She was 16. So she was just
running out. She was younger than that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it still goes on to this day. So
yeah, but,
I mean, I don't even think back then.
And hopefully, it's a lesson for people. You know what I'm saying? For young girls that think like, yo, rocking with these super old dudes is like a cool thing. Like, yo, maybe you should think about that and do other stuff with your life before you start worrying about love so much. You know what I'm saying? Because that's gonna be there. In due time.
Preach, D Money.
Money ain't got no kids yet.
Yeah, goddamn, like D Money just went real deep this time. And all my little girls out there watching, you know what I'm saying? Respect yourself.
But like, but you can even say like he beat her to a point to where it was traumatic for her to even be an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like she couldn't even really maintain her. She didn't even want to advance her career because it was like, yo, this shit's so messed up and like I'm so fucked up. I don't even want to do this shit no more.
My thing was like there was nobody around her to help her do something about the shit to get her out that situation because there's always gonna be dudes like that out there that exist.
The cat was like, yo, man, we can handle this for you. You know what I'm saying? But she brushed them dudes off.
Man, he was talking about killing this.
I mean, yeah, that was murder though. That's like okay, I don't want to live with that. He going to 0 to 100. You know what I mean? Like that's still the father of my child. Like I don't want him dead. I just don't want him whooping my ass.
I mean, I don't wish death on nobody, but damn, this nigga charged her $10,000 for her son. Like
for his son.
Well, for their son.
But like, who does that though?
Man, I'm gonna take it to a whole nother place. Shout out to, you know, when people think about female MCs, especially back in the day, you know, everybody kind of only goes as far back as Salt and Pepper. That's usually where people start.
Yeah. Or MC Light.
Or MC Light. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's dope to go back. Yeah. I mean, but I think she was before that, wasn't she? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, like, I think Queen came later.
It's after the fact. Yeah, that's when I started fucking with female rappers personally.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, in the time frame of history, like, when they start with female rappers, it's usually that time frame. The Queen Latifah, Salt and Pepper, like she's before that.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? This is before it was even like as the movie shows. This is even before you consider her a female MC. Like she was going up against dudes. Like she was just the dopest in Queensbridge. Right. Like she was just the dopest in Queensbridge. Period.
Like not even a female, like a kid.
Yeah.
Like this kid, that's a girl.
With the New York swag too.
Right. Exactly. So
I need one of them.
I thought that part was dope, and then obviously for you to know she had influence on one of the greatest rappers of all time. I think that part of the movie was dope, and I mean,
I think they used that part to like kind of big up the movie a little bit more.
I think they did too, but Nas hasn't come out and said anything
it was
against
definitely
it,
that.
so.
Yeah,
I think it's leading to Nas's story.
Probably.
I mean, I'm sure they had to get clearance to use his name, so they know what's.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think she was lying. Obviously, she's done Breakfast Club interviews and all that. So
I think this movie is more authentic than Straight Outta Compton, to be honest. Like,
I mean, because Straight Outta Compton was I mean, see, this is what the thing. When you get to full length movies, like we're talking about movie theater, box office, you kind of gotta. That's that dramatization, however you say it.
Dramatization.
Y'all sound just like me.
You've been drinking the same shit.
No different from what I just said.
Well, at least we had a Z in our shit.
Exactly.
When you get
said exactly what I said. Thank you.
Dramatification.
when we get to these Netflix joints, I mean, it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying, you either gonna like it or you're not, so we might as well make it real. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I kind of like the Netflix joints, because they kind of step outside the box. And I'm not even talking about with like biopics or nothing like that. Like even like they be having sci-fi joints that just be super off the wall, but it's like I said, they have so much content on there from Netflix that you either gonna mess with it or you're not. There's somebody out there who's like, yes,
somebody gonna watch.
Thank you. Like I've been waiting for them to really do this portal stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yes, I mean from that aspect, I thought it was dope. And then like who doesn't want a history lesson in hip hop?
Exactly.
I mean, my question was though, like, I mean, outside of just the history, what was the purpose of it though?
Tell her story. People forget about her.
Are we checking for her now? Did anybody go look up Roxanne Shante and see where she stands now?
You know what I did look up after. So okay, let me preface this by saying I thought it was dope because as somebody from the West Coast who grew up on hip hop. Okay, get into a personal conversation now. So to me, you had an era of hip hop that transcended any coast. Right now, obviously, everybody was from the East Coast because that's where hip hop started.
Originated,
so you got your artists, fucking like Grandmaster Flash, Run DMC, Biz Markie, all these, whatever names you want to throw out. Like to me, those were my introduction to hip hop, but I don't consider them East Coast because I consider them the genesis of hip hop. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't be like, yo, East Coast, West Coast. Like, nah, fam, these are the founders.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of where they're from, they just happen to be from the East Coast, but these are the founders. Give them their proper respect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, growing up on the West Coast, I always hear about the stories from my favorite West Coast artists, but I never really have the opportunity to hear about the origins of the artists from the East Coast. And one of the groups that I always had questions about was the Juice Crew.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, watching from that perspective, it was enlightening to me because I had my timeline all wrong. Like I guess when you think about it, you realize it, but I didn't realize that Roxanne Shante was a part of the Juice Crew before Biz Markie. Like I just thought Biz Markie, for whatever, because he's probably one of the most popular, I thought he was one of the original members of the Juice Crew. You know what I'm saying? So watching the movie, you're like, damn. Like Biz Markie was her roadie pretty much. Like he just fell off into this position because Marley Marl, who also I'm like, damn, Marley Marl's a cold motherfucker.
But that movie did make me kind of look at
cold.
him.
Yeah, he was
like
actually trying to look out for her.
You
got to think about it. Like
he went to the extreme. Like, yo, fam, I'm leaving. And I got the records. So do your show now.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, but if you're going to be disrespectful, it's like, you know what I'm saying? You out here, like he told her. And I respect that, like, especially because you got to admit, he kind of called it like you out here looking like a hoe. Like, you doing some hoe shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like, matter of fact, give me this shit. Like, you over here, you wilding. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then, all right, you want to be disrespectful? Cool. Let me remind you who the fuck I am.
Right.
I mean, but then again, you wouldn't. Biz Markie got put on at that point. Basically, it's basically what they depicted is that's what put him on. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what we do. You know what I mean? But to what you were getting at, it kind of put everybody in a different light. It made you look at Marley Marl a little bit different. Look at Biz Markie, like, damn, like that's how you got moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then, like I said, I mean, females tend to get overshadowed and overlooked and whatever. So to go back and be like, damn, this is the female that made all this possible, basically.
For
like,
the most part,
kind of
yeah,
jumped this
basically.
off.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? It's dope as hell, especially.
Yeah, she jumped off a whole.
You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. But yeah, to get back to your question as far as checking out Roxanne Shante, that actually made me go back and research the Roxanne Shante Wars. Because then I remembered, I'm like, damn, there was a whole lot of responses.
Hella
you know what I'm
responses.
saying? It was like Roxanne, and like, you know, obviously they touched on the movie. They touched on it in the movie. So I remember it being, I mean, even as a kid, I remember it being the Roxanne Roxanne song, and then Roxanne Shante coming out with her response to it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like doing my research as a young kid, then I remember like, yo, and then somebody came out and dissed her saying that they was the real Roxanne Shante. You know what I'm saying? So immediately after watching the movie, I went back and researched all that because I had to refresh my memory.
Yeah.
Like, yo, how did this shit even all play out? But then I didn't even know that. Well, so I'm looking at the Wikipedia at this point for Juice Crew, and it was saying that the Juice Crew, like, they were known for doing that.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that, like, they were known for taking songs and making a response to that song.
Okay.
Exactly how they did with Roxanne Roxanne versus the real, you know, well, Roxanne Shante. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was one of the ways they got popping.
Yeah.
Is making responses to records and making it as if it was a diss. And I'm like, yo, that shit is dope. That's a dope way to get on. You know what I'm saying? You know, because now everything seemed like it's a battle, and this is in the height of battle rap when everything was about lyrics and shit like that. So, I mean, to that, I did go back and do more research because after watching the movie, I had more questions than I thought I would have had before watching the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
Yeah, you know, like, yo, I need to know more about this, especially how it ended. I didn't really like how it ended.
I didn't like how it ended either.
But I will say I didn't catch that.
I mean, I like how it ended because of the Nas part when he rapped.
Well, yeah, but I didn't. I felt like.
But overall, how the movie ended. Nah.
Yeah.
I mean, the way they ended, I feel it kind of depicted the way things actually are.
Probably, yeah.
It's
Probably,
like, okay,
really.
like it's just over. That's it. You back in the hood. And I mean, life goes on. You know, like the end. Like there's no happy ending. There's no fairy tale.
From that perspective, that could be true. That could be true.
Yeah, I mean, and to touch on that, Roxanne Shante is very still active in the hip hop community or whatever. That's actually how the movie came about. You know, like I said, when I see stuff, I kind of go further into whatever. So I immediately, like he said, typed it in, but the Breakfast Club interview came up. And I was like, oh, okay. So, you know, that's actually how the movie came about. It's from her being like hosting events and running into these people who make movies and whatever. And they're like, yo, we should make your movie. Like, your story is dope.
Right.
Like,
just fell into it.
Yes. I mean, it's not something like someone saying like she's still out and about and does stuff and hosts events and goes and talks and stuff like that. So she's still active in the hip hop community. Like I said, I mean, the hip hop is bigger than what people think it is.
Definitely.
So I mean, there's a lot
especially the history.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of forgotten people and times, and you know what I'm saying. It's something where you can find a movie and a story in a lot and almost under any hip hop rock. Honestly,
true. I would agree with that.
I mean, I'm guessing that like she's probably more popping now after the fact.
Oh yeah, definitely since the movie. Yeah,
like
I'm sure more people, like not just me, looked her up. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to figure out her real history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I knew a reference point, but I'm sure people are looking at to see what really what impact she had on the culture and whatnot.
I mean, I think we all have heard of her before, but probably didn't know her story or like the
exactly.
We just knew that she was a female rapper, you know, was on and popping, but like where she been all this time? You know, we talking it's 2018.
I mean, like I said, but that's what made it interesting to me is because, like I said, like you just said, like we all knew, we heard, whatever, but especially not being from that time and not growing up in that era, it's like, to me, I immediately put that in the salt and pepper in that category. Like, I'm immediately thinking Roxanne Shante. I know the song, I've heard whatever. Like, that immediately in my head, I'm like, okay, that was during the salt and pepper time and all of that. Like, that was when the female MCs was winning.
Right.
Like, that's what I'm thinking in my head off top. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to go back and like, oh no, nigga, that was before. Like, she was out here killing niggas. Like,
I also didn't realize she was that young when all that was happening. I didn't realize that. Yep. I thought she was like at least in her 20s.
I don't think a lot of people really knew as it was happening.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I appreciate it though, because I mean, as these other artists' stories start coming together, you can start putting the pieces to the puzzle together. And
really you can put your timeline together, right?
You know, you go back and watch some of these hip hop, like the birth of hip hop movies. And,
you
know, all these different artists. When they came about, you can kind of start drawing it out and making a timeline and making sense of everything.
Exactly.
So we got time for one more topic. Cause y'all niggas want to talk a lot.
Yeah, we do.
Right.
D Money's always juiced. If y'all, in case y'all haven't caught on to that by now. Let's get into some debate, man. What's the most underrated artist from each coast? We talking about one from the east, one from the west. I'm gonna throw it to D Money because
Of course you.
He's been thinking long and hard.
And still come back to
D-Money
your
on
boy.
deck.
Come back to your boy. You know what I'm saying? I should have something when you get back around to me.
he trying to
Super.
he trying to piggyback off of somebody else.
Yeah,
like,
he like,
you
yeah,
know who that made me think about?
Yo, man,
Right,
like
okay.
I want to keep it as authentic as possible.
You got some, Hugh?
If you're gonna take it to the West Coast, if you ask me, I gotta shout out my man Problem, man. You know, like I think he's the most underrated.
Got
Is
him.
that you, K Player? You have the same thought. You know, like Problem. He like I fuck not just because you know we have somewhat of a personal relationship with Problem. But the fact, shout out to my man K Player, man. He hosted a Problem mixtape back in the day before Problem even popped off the way he is today.
And then he hosted one of his.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Dope.
Oh yeah, that's right. You know, so shout out to K Play on that shit. But at the same time, like lyrically, Problem is killing shit. You know what I'm saying? His whole squad, what's they shit called? Like the Aces,
League of Stars.
League of Stars, yeah, something like that.
Whoa!
Ace of Diamonds. No, that's the strip club.
Well, okay.
No,
let me clarify.
close.
Well, okay, let me backtrack. It's not necessarily League of Stars. That's his. Well, that was a production squad he was cool with, but his record label that he's affiliated with is Diamond Lane.
Diamond Lane.
Yeah,
Okay. Word.
It
Okay.
makes more sense of why you said Aces.
True. Diamond's Aces.
We lit over here.
Yeah.
Man.
Diamond
Keep
Lane
pushing.
is like his independent record label.
I just know he goes Diamond.
Yeah.
Every song.
Yeah, 350.
So where'd you get Aces?
Nigga, I don't know. Nigga.
Exactly.
I can't remember. Nigga, when you think about an ace, I think an ace of diamonds, whatever.
But that's what I'm
nigga.
saying. I was trying to give you
So
the
in my
alley-oop,
head-
but then you just went.
Yeah, you supposed to say.
Yo,
You
Diamond?
supposed to say Ace of Diamonds, fool.
Ace of Diamonds, man. Shout out Ace of Diamonds.
Swatted your own alley.
For real.
I'm do a shack that thing. I'm gonna tumble that thing. No.
Anyway, but yeah, lyrically, man, Problem, he killing shit. He's still killing shit, man. But I mean, I
Agreed.
just don't feel he's getting the credit he deserves. I feel he should be selling out arenas at this point, man. Because I mean, I guess if you ask me, I feel he just needs to be more consistent with the tracks that he puts out, more of the like the radio cuts that people can actually rock with. So unless you're not really like a Problem fan and follow him like that, you probably wouldn't know what he's working on at the time. Versus like a lot of these more mainstream artists that
Right.
you can't get away from their music. You know, Problem, you actually have to search for him. But he's out there killing shit. He's doing his thing. You know, as far as East Coast artists, I got to give it to my man Wale. You know, Wale,
Man, that was a good one.
he puts out projects, man, that like, you know, I mean, you would fuck with,
Right.
you fuck with Wale like heavy personally, and you talk to the streets, and nobody else heard this shit. It's like, how come y'all not really like checking for Wale like that?
That's a
you know
good
what I mean?
ass pick.
I think
Hugh.
Wale be fucking himself though, because
I mean, that's part of the problem
Social
too.
media-wise,
Because
probably.
like energy-wise,
No,
Wale. I mean, Wale, he kind of puts out bad energy to people and shit. Because
Not
rather than bigging up the people that celebrate him, man, he talk about the people who don't fuck with him and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, he
that's all
definitely has
is.
a negative outlook on the industry, whatever. I mean, because the album About Nothing was dope.
Yeah.
And then he felt like he didn't get enough love for like basically Jerry Seinfeld like co-signing him.
Yeah.
Like he felt like he didn't get enough love for that. But what I say, that didn't deter me at all. It was just his next album, which I don't even know the damn name of, was terrible. It wasn't good to me. Like the lyrics was there, but the production, like the album About Nothing was put together well. I mean, he's always gonna deliver lyrically. Obviously, we know he's a great rapper,
And that's
But his
what I'm
production-
focused on.
yeah, his production was not up to par. Like you can have great lyrics, but if the production is trash, I don't mean like it sounds like trash. It doesn't fit. Like it doesn't fit well. Like it doesn't sound good. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree with
Like his next album that he dropped after that, it wasn't up to par in my opinion. So I feel like Wale is not consistent up to his classmates. And when I put him in classmates, I put him in a class with who also is having issues right now. The Big Sean's, Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick. I feel like he's in that class and he hasn't kept up to their standards. Like I said, Big Sean is having that issue right now as well.
True.
But
I agree on
He
everything.
hasn't kept up to their standards of putting out music and albums that are consistently at least good. You know what I'm saying? Like, because Drake gets flack for you can feel a certain way about his album, but it's at the very least it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just like this is a bad album. Like, it's just horrible.
I mean, even with Drake though, I feel like people fuck with more his singles than his albums though.
Yeah. But I'm saying that album was just bad though, and that's what I'm saying. And Wale even has that issues with singles. Like, he puts out weird singles. Like, he'll do a good single and then that follow up single will be like.
But why do you think that is though? Because lyrically, I mean, he's there. He got the skills. He got the flow. I mean, he got the metaphors, everything.
I feel like he's not in tune. So what he feels is this is the one. This is dope. Whatever is not what everyone like the masses.
That could
it's
be
not like bro. Like, it's cool, but it's not what's gonna connect with me.
That ain't the one. That ain't the one.
Which I don't really get why it don't connect, because some of this stuff is actually doper than what the masses.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But some people, that's just how it is with them. Like, they could just do something dope and it just don't resonate with people for some reason. So, and I mean, I can see Wale falling under that category.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, I don't know what it is. I mean, I just feel like I don't know.
You would think that after all this time though, shit would like actually get better. He would have some shit that pops off. But Wale has been Wale and been maintaining that same lane that he's in over the years consistently though. So he's consistently Wale. I'm just hoping that we get a better version of him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you definitely gotta. I mean, sometimes you just gotta take that reign and be like, man, this is me. I'm going after this. I'm gonna do this. I mean, I think everybody has to find a pocket. Yeah. And I feel like I said, I keep mentioning Big Sean. I feel like Wale and Big Sean have found like a weird lane that people are not really rocking with. You know what I'm saying? Like, Drake is obviously Drake. Like, man, like, I'ma do me. I'ma sell regardless. I'ma sing.
Right.
And you gonna mess with it. Kendrick is I'ma be socially aware and I'ma kill whatever. J. Cole is honestly the weirdest one out of all of them, because he'll drop a project and then disappear. Damn. He'll fall off the face of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like an old school artist to me. Like, he puts out a project and lets it linger. Like, all right, cool. Like, now we're in the day and age of putting out music. Like, J. Cole will drop something and he'll, all right, cool, I'll be back in 3 years to drop something else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
but his stuff really sit there. And I mean, to be honest, that was gonna be, when it got back around to me, that was probably gonna be my underrated. You know what I'm saying? J. Cole. I just feel like with the artist that you was
outside of Kendrick and Drake, J. Cole is the only one out of that class, I mean, I feel that can do stadiums.
He underrated compared to those two, maybe.
He's putting out
not to the rest of the world.
The last two albums went fucking platinum with no features. Like, what are you talking about? Like, J. Cole definitely moves different, but I don't think you can put him in the class of underrated.
I would, if anything, trying to make my argument would be the fact that people obviously fuck with J. Cole, but just like on that level of Kendrick and Drake, which, I mean, I guess they're not gonna be the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he's mentioned among them. I don't know. Well, to the Wale point, that's a good ass pick.
That is a good ass pick.
That's a good ass pick. I know I still randomly play like whenever I can. I mean, obviously it doesn't work in every setting, but Pretty Girls by Wale, like whenever I have the opportunity to play that, whenever I'm DJing somewhere, like whether it's dinner music or something, I'm dropping that shit because that shit is so dope. Speaking
of, I mean, we touched on Eric Bellinger outside of the pre-podcast. Wale's on his new joint, GOAT, and it's actually it's a dope song. Like, I mean, Wale is not whack at all.
Right.
It's just I feel like the shit that he picks is just, it doesn't resonate or it doesn't hit the way it should.
I mean, that GOAT record, to the point, like, that wasn't supposed to be a record that's making moves right now. Yeah. And it's dope enough to the fact that it's making its own moves. Like, whether y'all was trying to let it in the door or not, it kicked this way in the door. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, and that's great to bring it back to Wale. Is I feel like he doesn't pick enough of those records. And that's not his record. It's Eric Bellinger's record. Exactly. But he doesn't pick enough of those records. Those are the records he needs to be making. Like, all right, cool. Like, whether it's supposed to be a smash or not, I know that this production, and that's what I'm saying. I hate to use the word production because I'm not taking away from any producers on his albums. It's not that the tracks themselves are bad. It's just, like I said, always the combination of the rapper and the track doesn't always work together. Right. You know what I'm saying? So the stuff that he picks, that he decides to get on, doesn't work for him. And he needs to be getting on records like that GOAT record and putting them out as his records. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like
to be Wale tracks versus featuring Wale.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like he would do a lot better.
He's a super part of that Eric Bellinger GOAT 2.0
Oh yeah,
record.
but that's what I'm saying. If it was a Wale record, we would be like, yo, that's a smash.
Yeah.
I can't say that about a lot of Wale records that he puts out as singles and stuff like that. Like I
agree with you.
Yeah.
Speaking of Eric Bellinger, shout out to Yikes. I don't know if y'all heard that Yikes song.
Man.
But Yikes is dope. That's the Tory Lanez diss.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Eric Bellinger, don't get Travis Scotted out here, man.
Yeah, bro.
Stop it.
I'm just saying. If Tory Lanez show up and he tell everybody to clear the room we could throw them hands, Eric Bellinger, you better throw them hands, B.
Say don't back down from the pull up. All right.
That's all I'm
You was talking big shit and Yikes. No, but shout out Eric Bellinger for Yikes, man. That shit was dope.
My underrated artist would be from the East Coast. I'm gonna give an honorable mention because I kind of switched up last minute. But my original one was gonna be Dave East. That was my original. Mm-hmm. Okay. But I switched up because someone who I feel like is in his lane but does it bigger than him and is an underrated artist to me is French Montana.
As far as underrated, you feel
like
French is underrated.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I feel like he puts out big singles like 5 years at a time. You know what I'm saying? So those other years, he's like kind of like, but he does dope music all the way through. Like the last one he did was what was was Sway Lee? Unforgettable. Yeah. Before that, I mean, what was the last big single he had? It was probably like 5 years prior to that.
It was Don't Panic.
That was like a 3-year gap, bro. Don't Panic was not like it wasn't year from year.
Let me count my years.
It wasn't year to year.
I don't know.
I feel like he's underrated. Like he's obviously not on that superstar level. Like I feel like that track put him on but where's he at right now again?
I don't know. I feel like French is on that level. I feel like French is on that level, but not for music. Like French is like the only male. So whatever you want to call him, fucking like he's like
a socialite.
Exactly, that's exactly the word I'm looking for. French Montana is the only male socialite. Exactly.
I feel like his music is underrated though. He makes great music.
I think French is right where he needs to be. It's just cool. It's solid. Too, you just know what you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Like he gonna go in there, he gonna give you something that's gonna sound good in the clubs. You know what I'm saying? And that's just it.
No, you know what I feel like? I feel like he is a Fat Joe. Like he's good for a big record at some point in time. Yeah, you don't know how long it's gonna be before the next big record. That's what I'm saying. Up until then, he's underrated. Like people not checking for him until he does that, and then it's like, okay, French Montana back.
You know what's crazy about French too? Not to cut you off, but it was crazy to me how he had that song with Nicki Minaj, the Freaks joint.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it was the what rhythm was it? Come on, y'all from the East Coast. It was Murder She Wrote, whatever rhythm that was, the Murder She Wrote rhythm, right? And for whatever reason, that song flopped, like Main Street wise, Freaks flopped. But then Jason Derulo came with the same rhythm and put Nicki Minaj on it also.
I didn't even put that together. You're right.
Yeah, like that always that should always bother me. So Jason Derulo came with the same rhythm, put Nicki Minaj on that joint also, and it was super pop. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that might play to the fact that people don't respect French Montana's gangster when it comes to artistry. You know what I'm saying?
I'm talking about music wise, he's underrated. Definitely music wise. Socialite, I mean, he definitely French Montana's that name. Like, I think people will come out to see French Montana because it's French Montana versus I'm coming out because he's about to give me hella smashes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Right.
I mean, I think people still respect him, like, as not just an artist, but, as a socialite.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Right. That's what I'm saying. I feel like let me put it like this. I feel like a DJ, like as DJs, we're DJs. If you in the club and French Montana come through, you gonna shout him out because he's in the club and it's dope as hell. Versus I'm about to play hella French Montana shit and go on.
Yeah. You ain't gonna hit no French Montana set.
I mean, you ain't hitting pop that and be like, all right, cool.
I don't fuck with French Montana. I fuck with French Montana just because it's a single. I fuck with him because he's French Montana.
Exactly.
But that's also my point. Like, he's not underrated.
I'm talking about music, man.
Yeah,
underrated.
I'm talking about his music.
Underrated for music,
man. Like his music should not be higher than what it is. It's where it's at. That's French Montana.
He makes dope.
That's
French
what you
Montana.
get.
See, look, this is that Rockstar DJ's West shit.
No. It ain't, but that ain't even no West shit. Like that ain't even no West shit. I don't think.
Because lyrically, I mean, he's kind of where he should be. He's not
lyrically,
like
yes,
y'all
definitely.
sleeping on him.
No. Lyrically, see, look, now y'all taking it to a whole nother. Now y'all taking it to a whole nother level. I did not say.
Hey, 3 against 1. All right.
I did not say French Montana.
Hold
on.
I just drop the mic, dog.
That's what underrated means. That's what underrated mean to me. Like that, you should be getting more than what you get.
All right, well then I'm a default back to my other pick and say Dave Easton.
I'm gonna change my whole pick.
No, I'm gonna go back to my noble mention, okay. Dave Easton. Dave East. Cause he's lyrical. What the fuck y'all gotta say?
No, not.
You know what I got
Dave
to say?
I
don't know about Dave East, man.
What?
I don't know about that.
Now you about to get punched in the eye.
Rockstar DJ's East over here.
It ain't got nothing to do with that.
Y'all like the magazines. Why y'all trying to turn this to an East West
Right.
thing,
Fucking Vibe magazine over here. Anyway, so the reason I'm kind of turned off. Okay. And it's one of those situations.
Okay, I already know where you're going to go with this shit. I know this dude too well. Go ahead.
It has nothing to do with music. Who knows? So let me say that first.
I already know what you're going to say.
I don't know. I'm just on Twitter doing my regular updates, making sure people are listening to the podcast and following us on YouTube and the Twitters and the Instagrams of the world. Mm-hmm. And I come across a tweet from a lovely young lady who spent her money on some Dave East tickets to go see him perform live. Yeah. And she tweets.
How you know she was lovely?
Man, let him finish the story. Why you interrupting? Why you fucking it up?
Because it's relevant to the story. That's why.
I mean, I'm not fucking what he about to say. I'm not fucking with what he's saying either. At least let him tell a story.
But anyway, and don't tell it how you normally tell it too, nigga. Get to the point.
So, God damn, fuck, you supposed to be from the West, fam.
I told you.
Anyway, if y'all motherfuckers stopped interrupting me, I would have been done by now. Anyway.
No, you wouldn't.
Anyway, goddamn it,
young lady.
Anyway, yeah, lovely young ladies on Twitter talking about how the concert that she attended that's featuring Dave East was supposed to start at 7:30 and it is now 10:30 and Dave East is still nowhere to be found. Yeah. So Dave East took it upon himself before he went on stage to retweet this lovely young lady, and he puts "So leave then." In the caption.
Oh wow.
Hey, that's gangster.
I don't know. I don't fuck with it.
That's gangster.
Yeah, I don't. You could call it gangster or not. I don't fuck with it.
I mean, if you got time to be retweeting people, you definitely got time to get your.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you 3 hours late to your concert,
how you know his? You know, I'm gonna touch on the parent nerve. How you know his daughter wasn't sick or something like that? And he was.
I'm pretty sure he was in the venue tweeting.
So you gonna be tweeting instead of checking, making sure you're sick.
No,
daughter?
I mean, he said before he went on. So I'm pretty sure it was like within a 10-minute.
I'm gonna give you this medicine.
I'm pretty sure it was like a
10-minute
frame of him coming on.
No, I don't think so. Well, so I'll give you my play on what I think happened.
We talking about music here.
Yeah, I know, but let me get the story out.
Well, this is why I don't fuck with Dave. I don't know. Yeah, this is just my story. Anyway, so what I assume happened is she went to the concert at 7:30 because the doors probably opened at whatever time, right?
At 7:30.
Yeah.
Thinking that he was going to be on stage.
Well,
at 8 o'clock.
But if you read her, I mean, I'm not.
Who are these other dudes on stage?
I'm paraphrasing her tweet, but yes, like her tweet didn't seem that malicious, right? It seemed like she was just a fan eager for Dave East to get on stage. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I assume that, you know, she showed up at 7:30 or whatever. Boom, she got the opening act. And from what I understood from her tweet is she like, yo, I don't want to see these motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. I want to see Dave East. Like, I don't think she was saying it like, yo, Dave East is 3 hours late. I think she's like, oh, I got to sit through all these goddamn opener acts before Dave East come out.
You just gave me like two different emotions. Like, I was taking it as he was late. That's how you put it to me the first time.
No, I mean, she put, I've been here since 7:30, it's 10:30, and Dave East still ain't came out yet. I mean, you could interpret it how you want, but if you there, like, we all know that there's opening act. It ain't like she's sitting there and there's nothing going on till 10:30.
Don't go to a concert. I mean, it was 10:10. I'm looking at the tweet right now, so she was saying,
"Let's go, Hugh."
I'm just saying.
Let's go, Hugh.
So she said,
10:10, not 10:30. My bad.
It's 10:10, and he's still not out yet. You know, so if you go into a concert and you expect to see an artist at 8 o'clock. It's not going to be the main artist.
Well,
when you go to a concert and doors open at 7 o'clock, which is typical for like any other show, you do not see the main artist before 10 o'clock. Period.
Right, let me tell you, New Jack, something. Okay, why you talking? All right. Shout out to one of the gods, Kanye West. Okay.
Hey,
Ticket said 9 p.m.
I'm on time for that.
Kanye West came out at 9 p.m. Okay.
hey, this
Not
is facts
openers.
because I damn near missed the opening.
Not openers. Kanye West. So all you little famous New Jacks that think y'all y'all definitely ain't Kanye West.
I'm under
and he on time.
I'm under the assumption that there was other artists there, and they weren't just sitting there with like a DJ just playing some throwback shit.
Right. I've been to
for 3
shows
hours.
where I've DJ'd the show.
Fucking artist ass. Yeah.
I was the opener.
Who ready to see Dave East? He ain't here yet.
For 2 hours.
But we gonna keep it rocking.
Me and Hugh been in that same situation too.
What show was that?
No, but this is what I'm saying. I don't deny. Yeah, right. Like, when that happened, what I'm saying is I don't deny that was the case, right? Like, but he could have misinterpreted what she was saying. Is what I'm saying. Like, why leave yourself open for misinterpretation like that? Like, she could have really been saying, I don't want to see these openers. I came to see Dave East. I want to see Dave East.
Yeah, she was obviously a Dave East fan.
That's what I'm saying.
When she showed up,
But
so she's like, yo, where is Dave East? I got school in the morning or whatever it might be, and it's 10:10. So 3 hours went by and he's still not here. So I think she was just showing her impatience. Like, she can't wait to see Dave East.
That's what I'm saying.
When he comes back and says, so leave. He's like, yo, I'm your. He's like, yo, my name is Stan. I'm your biggest fan.
Who the hell you gonna wait 3 hours to see?
Me?
Right. But that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, yo, fam, this
there's
is
a few artists I wait 3 hours to see.
I waited 3 hours to see Jay-Z.
Yeah,
I ain't even gonna lie to you.
I don't even know if I could wait 3 hours to see Jay-Z, bro. Get your ass on stage.
I was nice and lit. I don't think it was him.
right here.
All right, first off, if doors open at 7, niggas gonna be at least an hour late.
And I was.
You gonna get there till 8 o'clock.
I was an hour
right,
late.
and we gotta hit the bar. But
before you even get to your seats, you gonna hit the bar.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a long ass line
Right.
for that shit. I mean, so by the time you get to your seats, you talking about 8:30 ish. Then you want to hit a DJ. You want your drinks to
you gotta
kick
hit a
in, you
DJ.
trying to
You
get
do gotta
lit.
hit a DJ. Yeah,
You know what I mean? So we talking about now it's 9 o'clock. He coming on at 10. It's like, all right, we party for an hour. It's not
Let me
that
tell you
bad.
how late Jay-Z was. By the time he got on, the bar closed.
Oh yeah.
Oh goddamn.
I went to go get another drink. Like, yes, Jay-Z finally coming in. Like, the bar is now closed. I'm sorry.
I was getting
the
phone
venue
calls.
has just shut it down at this time. So
I
I'm
was
like,
getting phone calls out of state. Like, is he performing? Is he gonna be?
Shit.
but I don't think it was Jay-Z's fault though.
Probably not.
Don't-
But anyway, bringing it back.
It wasn't because literally they didn't open. You couldn't even go sit down. Like the venue was shut off, and all you heard was a bunch of noise going on. Like they were still sound checking and trying to get stuff right. Like,
Oh yeah, I heard that was a terrible.
That's
show
not like
too.
a production issue.
That was at T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it was all bad,
I don't think it was
and I heard it was
technically
because of
Jay-Z,
T-Mobile.
Is that on the
Yeah,
Future
arena.
tour? Or like when he was on with Future?
No, it's the 444.
It's the 444
Oh,
tour.
okay.
Yeah, I heard that shit was all bad. But anyway,
But I mean,
but
so
that's
you
how
say-
they interpreted it. You
Like,
know
so
what I'm
now
saying?
anytime you listen to a Dave East album, you're thinking about the fan and get the
said so
response.
leave. That's
No,
what
I
you think
know.
about?
I don't listen to a Dave East
Like,
album.
so leave. Fucking
Anyways,
tweet floating
moving
around
off
your
of
That
head.
shit just
Dave
annoys
East
me.
and French Montana. My West Coast artist would be I Am Sue. I Am Sue is a very lyrical, dope Bay Area rapper
Susie
who
Six
makes
Feet.
very diverse music as well.
I feel like
it's underrated.
I feel like Sue might be a local rapper though. For the
To
Bay.
the Bay,
the
yeah.
The Bay is on, like they doing their thing, so people like fucks with the Bay and their artists. But he's still a local rapper though. I mean, meaning that I
He
think
might
he's
only
still
pop
popping
to people
in
that
the
fuck with Bay music.
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, but if you look at his track record, I mean, like even to this day, any major artist that goes to the Bay fucks with Sue.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's
Right.
like a local artist that only his fan base fucks with, like the industry fucks with him. Like, as far as in the industry, like different rappers or whatever would go to the Bay to fuck with him, and I mean, especially when the West Coast was super dominant, you definitely had an I Am Sue feature. You know what I'm saying? Wiz was fucking with him, Tough 2 Chainz was fucking with him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I feel like he's an underrated artist.
I still got I Am Sue records in regular rotation.
Yeah.
Personally.
This stuff still sounds good.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But he doesn't. His
might
music
be-
doesn't
He
leave
might be the next
the state
Roxanne
of California.
Shante.
Easy.
His music doesn't lead the state of California.
I would agree.
If even the Bay Area.
Damn, homie.
Yeah, I would agree. He's underrated. I fuck with Sue.
Susie. You come up with anything yet, D?
Money,
we gonna go
money.
to,
You can tell by the motion. You can tell by the motion of his wrist.
He's still scrolling.
All right, so I don't.
He got a trump card back there. He just
I don't necessarily even have an East Coast person in mind, and Hugh Snag, my West Coast artist. I would go further to say that. I'll pick somebody else from the West Coast, but it's super new. But as far as problem is concerned, that's my number one pick. I feel like he's underrated because he is both down to turn up, and when he turn up, he's still spitting lyrical shit. Yeah. And I think most artists ain't really doing that, which is why I think his lane completely is underrated. Mm-hmm. Because even when he turning the fuck up, like, he's still rapping his ass off. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that always drew me to problem. Like, yo, I mean, shit, he rapping about some regular turn up shit, but he ain't talking about nothing. Like, he's still rapping his ass off. Like, he's still barring you to death. Like, on Lobster. Yeah. Like, Lobster is like some regular turn-up shit, but he barring you to death. Mm-hmm. If you actually listen to the shit, like, you could turn up to it and not really listen to the lyrics and just turn up. Or you can not turn up, really, and listen to the lyrics. And you like, God damn, he's spitting his ass off. Mm-hmm. So, my first pick would be Problem, but since you picked Problem, I'm going to go with a new rapper from the Bay by the name of Guap Dad 4000. Who is primarily?
Never heard of him.
Have you heard of him? Have you heard? You heard
Guap
him? You heard of him?
He's underrated.
Listen, fam. Listen. Let me take my microphone off the stand for this shit.
The top unheard of rappers.
So you really planted your flag?
Oh, no, you've heard of him. Believe me.
You planted your flag in the Guap Dad 4000.
Have you heard his mixtape?
I haven't heard.
Ferragamo.
No. His mixtape is called Scam Boy Color.
No, I'm just talking about he is the Ferragamo Falcon.
Yeah. No, he is.
Scam Boy RD. Yes.
Yeah. Listen.
Hold on, let me put it in perspective for Hugh. He's he blew up off of Snapchat, off of like memes and stuff. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to look him up, and the first thing come up is like an Instagram video.
Yeah. So I mean, that's where he's originally from, and he decided.
He's probably more popular on Instagram.
Wanted to rap.
No, that ain't. No, it ain't. He decided he wanted to rap. He was rapping,
and decided he wanted to be funny on Instagram, and then went back to rapping.
I mean, like he was using that as a tool. And then that's
because I would say he's naturally funny. I seen like 100 memes first before he ever put the damn. I started rapping.
Yeah, but did you like the first time I saw a meme from him, I looked him up and he already had songs out.
Okay.
And them shit was fire. But this is what I'm saying.
Can't play as a fan.
Oh my gosh.
See, y'all hating.
Wow.
And you know what? And I knew. And I knew it would come to this. Wow. No, but actually, real talk. Cause I kind of felt the same way y'all did. Like I would watch his videos, but this is kind of what drew me into him, because you would watch his videos and you would think it's really nothing much more to him being an Instagram comedian or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So he's a comedian, like he tells jokes on Instagram.
Yeah, he's a personality on Instagram. I wouldn't necessarily say he's a comedian, but he's entertaining.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a Cardi B kind of.
Good follow. Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah. As far as people want to hear what he got to say, but when I'm like no prejudice, like like I don't. He's just a random Instagram person to me, and this is the very first time I saw his video. Like it was interesting enough for me to want to look him up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what to expect. The shit could be whack. The shit could be dope or whatever. If it's whack, I'm gonna say it's whack. Wow. I ain't got nothing invested in it.
So why do you feel he's the most underrated rapper on the West Coast
right now?
Well, I don't. I think Problem is, but
but just when you throw it in name.
But I'm saying honorary mention.
Someone who's also underrated.
We both can't say Problem.
I mean, we could even say like.
But I will say, but for the reason that I'm the only person at this table right now that only listen to his mixtape. Like I feel like most people don't go beyond watching his antics on Instagram and Snapchat. You know what I'm saying? But his mixtape is fucking fire. Like surprisingly. Like you like, yo, wow. fam actually be rapping his ass off. So
I gotta look this dude up.
So his whole thing is like he a scammer, right? Like like it's all a personality.
Okay.
Right? So
is he really a scammer? Is that part
I don't know. I don't know.
He's pretty convincing at it too.
yeah. If he ain't, he knows some people that are because he know what the fuck to do.
He's super in the scam world.
yeah. He's a fucking scammer.
Yeah, I'm looking on his Instagram right now, yo. He got mad pictures of him with a do-rag on,
He sells
like
do-rags.
94.
He sells do-rags. Yeah, those are for sale.
Every do-rag you see me with, you can purchase at this link.
You actually can. Did you read that or are you just saying that?
No, I'm just saying
because
that.
he actually says that.
Hey, he's still selling like the Gucci monogram do-rags and shit.
Anyway, no, so being like how y'all reacting is like that's how I reacted to the first time I saw his video. I'm like, damn, that's a funny motherfucker. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I Googled him and then I Googled him before the mixtape dropped. So when I Googled him, he only had one song out. Mm-hmm. And that one song is fucking fire. I'm like, God damn, he rapping his ass off. But I mean, it could have been from the perspective that I didn't expect much. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But I'm like, God damn, he rapping his ass like all right, I really got to pay attention to this dude. I mean, if that's how you feel. So then he dropped this mixtape, and this mixtape is fucking fire. I mean, I'm about to follow this dude. It's all in the scammer identity. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what his stick is. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. The mixtape is fucking fire. But I'll say he's underrated because I'll say he's underrated for the same reason that like somebody to me like Lil Dicky is underrated. That like people perceive him as one thing, but they don't recognize his lyrical ability. Like fam is low key really rapping his ass off, even though he's like this funny character on Instagram. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you'll overlook it.
Pop off, but you're not taking them like that serious. Yeah. You buy tickets to a show, but still not taking them serious. Mm-hmm. I mean, meanwhile, he balling out, collecting all this dough from his shows, all his album sales, all this shit, because people think he a joke, but they not really paying attention.
Right, but he's really lyrical. Like he ain't rapping like it ain't no simple ABC 1, 2, 3 shit. Like he really like rapping his ass off. I'm like, all right.
It's funny. That's what they said about Eminem back in the day, like back in like '99 and shit, you know. But then eventually shit caught on, and they took him seriously as a rapper. Why do you think there's a disconnect there?
Right. I mean, and I ain't gonna say he's as dope as like obviously Eminem, but like I was listening to this shit, like, all right, my man, he's definitely. Whenever I listen to his album, I was like, I understand. He's using all this shit as a platform to get people to listen to his music. Yeah. Because ain't no, like, dude know he dope. He got to know he dope. So I feel like he doing, like, instead of going to 7-Eleven and jumping on the counter, he doing whatever he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just his lane. Like you said, it's his stick. Yeah, but at the end of the day, his fucking album is dope.
So go up there at 4,000, man. We gonna try to get him on the show sometime.
Yeah, hey, talk to him. Hey, for real though. No, like the shit is dope, and I ain't, I don't. But
go up there, come through. My man K Player fucking with you. Heavy,
super heavy.
Yeah, so you the most underrated rapper on the West Coast.
Yes,
facts. All right, I know we said East and West, but I'm definitely.
Hold on, son. I didn't say my East.
Oh, excuse me.
K Play is only halfway done.
I'm only halfway.
This next half of the show.
I'll make my East quick because I don't necessarily have a new East Coast artist that I feel is underrated, but of all time out of underrated East Coast artists, I'm gonna say Redman because Redman is probably top 5, one of my favorite rappers of all time, thanks to the Muddy Waters LP, because that was one of the first East Coast albums that I listened to front to back to front, and you couldn't tell me nothing about the East Coast thanks to Redman. Like as far as I was concerned, the East Coast was dope as a motherfucker thanks to Redman because the Redman Muddy Waters LP was that dope to me.
Did he have drop part 2 to that?
No, but you know what? He's supposed to be dropping. He's been dropping snippets. Because he's working on it. But so for that reason, I will say Redman because he's probably, East or West, he's probably one of my favorite rappers ever. And also, I don't feel like he gets the respect he deserves as far as being a legend in the game.
What? I definitely disagree with that.
You get like obviously Eminem says is one of his favorite rappers, right?
A lot of people say the Redman is their favorite rapper. That's not uncommon, especially in the rap community. Like before we even get to the fans, like a lot of rappers.
Yeah, but he's like your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. But like the average person, I don't feel like they mention
nowadays
Redman.
Maybe not, but back in the heyday of Wu-Tang and in that era of Redman coming up, and after that, like Redman wasn't being slept on at all. His music was being well received.
I won't deny that.
He was selling well, constantly touring well, and and then him and Method Man still have one of the best live shows that are stupid whenever they go on tour. So I can't. I can't put the stamp of approval under underrated at all. Like,
I don't know.
I mean, but I guess you could say like he's not one of the first names that Cass is firing off when they talking about.
Nah, like I feel like Redman is a name you really got to think about to the average person. Mm-hmm. Like when you really start to thinking, you're gonna say Redman.
Yeah,
but it ain't one of the first names
and you say
that you say. And like to me, like Red should definitely be one of the first names. Okay. Especially for the Muddy Waters LP because that shit
still
is
not underrated though. But yeah, I feel you. I feel what you're trying to say.
All right.
All right, for me, I'm gonna go West Coast, and I definitely needed all this time because there's just so much going through my head. But from the West, I'm gonna go ahead and say Dub C from Dub C and the Mass.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Definitely not one of the first cats that pop in your brain when you think about West Coast legends and West Coast artists, but if you really think about it, like when it comes to the pen, like Dub C really bring it to you lyrically, and also like he's really got smashes and hits. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So
let's not talk about his walk game neither.
Hey, dang, that's with the walk game. OT Genesis, where you at, fam? You ain't gonna see Dub C in a walk battle.
OT is an honorable mention, but I definitely gotta go Dub C for sure.
You know what? Dub C is dope too. He's probably one of my favorite artists as far as bringing in a verse. Because, you know, he always going to bring in a verse with a jingle from some other song. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to like the first 2, 3, 4 bars of a verse, Dub C got that on lock.
Okay. No, I'm with that. And East, I really was digging through my brain, and I just couldn't really pop up with something. But another artist that popped up to me, I'm going to go South. I'm going to have to go with the cat who probably dropped one of the best albums of 2017, and that's Big Crit. I really feel like the Critster is up there with the Kendricks and the Drakes and the J. Coles.
I'm not mad at that.
But, no, not at all. I ain't mad that you deviate. But we needed that. We didn't know we needed that. But
I see the light bulbs.
We was all like, you know what? As a matter of fact,
I had to take a trip south. It was like, you know, as DJs, we dig. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Looking for music, and I know I was just fishing around somewhere, and I just randomly clicked on some track from Big Crit, and you know, once you get hooked, like you hooked. Yeah. And it's like this dude, he's consistent and it's fire all the way through. And you know, I just really, like I said, I really feel like he need to be on. He can hold his weight with the Drakes and the Kendricks and the J. Coles for sure.
And let's not forget, produced by Crit.
Oh, yeah, produced by Crit, definitely.
Yeah. And like he embodies like that Pimp C. You know what I'm saying? Like that Southern style, but brings that new age lyricism fire with it too.
Right.
You touched on 2 points that we're gonna have to address.
Definitely.
Well, no, one point that we're gonna have to address in another podcast. The first one is shout out to OT Genesis because he's definitely underrated.
I would.
Definitely. And I'm talking about underrated to the fact that people do not realize. I mean, now you're starting to get the name, like, especially in the industry, everybody know who OT Genesis is. But to the fans, like, a lot of people do not know that damn name until he start rapping. And they be like, yo, this dude did all these songs? Like,
I don't like
his songs?
It's funny because as soon as I said that, I was like, damn, should have picked OT Genesis.
But I mean, you really fly this Guap Dad flag. So, I mean,
shout out to Guap Dad. Shout out to Guap Dad. But OT Genesis for sure also.
And he's probably due for another hit any day now.
Definitely.
He definitely has been consistent with the hits across the board in a timely fashion. And what I was gonna say with the point that you touched on, we're gonna have to talk about slept on albums because I have one in my head.
And you know
I have one in my head that's freaking amazing and no one ever talks about it.
Make sure y'all tune in next podcast because it's gonna get crazy.
Yeah,
we're going to end it like that, I guess. Right. This is For the Record. With Mizzy the Rockstar DJ.
Rockstar DJ Hugh Holler.
Rockstar DJ K Player.
The Rockstar DJ D Money.
And we will see you guys next time. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page.
That's right, please.
Make sure you stream us on all podcast formats like Apple Music. What's the other ones? Google Play.
Google Play. Tune in.
There you go.
Yeah. Check it from the website.
Yes, I'll definitely check it from the website. RockStarDJs.com.
Sure. Yep.
And also share it too, man. Let people know what we're doing over here.
Spread the word. Make sure that you comment, interact. We open for conversation.
All day,
definitely.
For the record.
Hey.
Peace.
Out of here.
Put a record.